Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's information session, which is our third market overview of 2025 for the New York Wine and Grape Foundation's export program. Today, we're specifically talking about the Vietnam market, and we're excited to look ahead to 2025. For those of you who missed our earlier sessions, the market overviews for both Western Europe and Japan have already taken place, and you can watch the recordings on our YouTube channel. Additionally, our export advisory group meeting was held on September 4th, and the link to that recording has been sent to all of the wineries signed up for the program. I'm Kyle Palashek, the Director of Programs here at the New York Wine and Grape Foundation. I'm incredibly excited to continue to work with so many folks I already know, as well as getting to know more of the producers around the state and some of our state and USDA folks joining us this morning. And really to continue to build on the years of diligent work and the strong structure that Val and the team here at the foundation have set in place for our export program. The program is a longstanding and critical initiative for the New York Wine and Grape Foundation. Running since 1993, it plays a vital role in keeping New York wines top of mind for trade, media, and consumers in our key target markets globally. The program's made entirely possible with funding from the USDA's Foreign Ag Service Market Access Program, also known as MAP. And we deeply appreciate the tremendous help we receive from their local attachés and agricultural counselors in each market, who are an important part of our program. As part of our dedicated team, I'm pleased to welcome Kirsten Kurz from Bryant Christie International. BCI is our major partner, serving as our quote-unquote activities management partner, responsible for ensuring our export program activities remain focused, compliant, and strategic. As a longtime partner, BCI's assistance has helped us achieve continuous improvement and increased grant funding year after year. After this overview, please keep an eye out for our next session on South Korea, which is next week, and we'll welcome our Canadian reps for their in-person overview at the end of October. So Kirsten, with that, I'll turn it over to you to introduce our Vietnam market representatives.
Thank you, Kyle. Hello, everybody. Thank you to those of you who are able to make it live, and hello to everyone watching virtually. Excited to introduce to you guys our Vietnam team from HOPSCOTCH. We started working with them during the last program year and are excited to keep moving forward. They've had successful events so far. And we really appreciate all of the market overviews and information sessions they have provided to us so far. So I'm going to introduce our two speakers, which are Anne and V. So Anne handles the marketing and logistics. Oh, sorry, my cats are fighting in the background. And then V is the wine specialist on staff. So thank you guys so much for putting this together, and I'll hand it over to Anne.
Thank you, everyone. But first, maybe I'll let Richard introduce a little bit about our HOPSCOTCH season. I can share screen right now so that I can have a better overview of the fund.
Thank you, Anne, and good morning, everyone. We are delighted to be here to introduce you an overview of the Vietnamese market. So briefly, we are HOPSCOTCH and we are a dedicated agency of food and beverage. We have been present for more than 60 years. We are specialized in providing market insights, developing communication and marketing campaigns in Vietnam, where about 1/3 of our clients are wine related. We have been part of the wine industry there, supporting the sommelier community, supporting the importers, distributors through our activities, organizing tasting, sommelier competition, and working closely with all the Vietnamese network to make wines thrive within the market. We are lucky enough today to have two experts presenting. So Anne, who is our country manager and has been with us for more than 5 years, and working in all food and beverage related events, especially wine, and V, who is our trade representative, wine expert with WSET4, and who he's also the vice president of the Vietnam Sommelier Association. So I hand over to them. Thank you very much, and we look forward to introducing the market and supporting you as much as we can.
Thank you, Richard. So yeah, again, my name's An. I'm a HOPSCOTCH season Vietnam country manager. My pleasure to have you today, and then I mean as a second year. And let us move quickly to the introduction about the market, which is will be presented by V. Thanks, V.
Yep. Hello, everyone. My name is V. I'm the trade representative from HOPSCOTCH season. So I'm very glad to be here for the second year to present about, let's say our country's market. So as you know, we are we always say that we are a small country in Southeast Asia. But with this small country, we are 98 million people live and work all along the countries. So we got a lot of very interesting information to share with you. So we the fourth largest wine market in the Southeast Asia. So as I said, that we always say that we are small, but we have, the number of everything increasing every year. So one of the very interesting things, again, we have a lot of people who we can call it from the middle class. So it's the people who willing to spend and willing to experience a lot of different new things, including wine. And here we can say that is wine from different countries, including the wine from the US. And we look forward to have more and more wine from New York. What is we trying to do it now? So we for the middle class people, we people are trying to explore the new thing. So as you can see that the number of the wine that import and consume in Vietnam is actually increasing every year. So we got during the COVID time was a very hard time, but during that time we actually can sell a lot of wine for private customer. So for people who they stay at home, they cannot going out, and they want to have some wine to enjoy themselves or enjoy with their family. So during the COVID time, or now we are the post-COVID time, we always say that the market is quite hard, but the number is actually increasing every year, which is a very important point that we really want to share with you, because so far we look forward to have more and more new wine from, well, I would say new wine is wine coming from new area, including New York. For the last year, from what me and Anne, we saw, maybe we can have 1 to 2 new wineries from New York that will be import to Vietnam, maybe this year or in the beginning of next year. But we look forward more than just 2 wineries. So can you just previous for the previous slide? Yeah. Yeah, next one, please. Yes. So for the US wine, well, because we been import wine since officially from 1995, so it's around 30 years for now. And we got a big celebration of a lot of new relationship for 30 years. So US wine is the ninth market that we have in Vietnam for the number what that we have in 2023. So we had a big opportunity to have more and more wine from the US. And of course, we look forward to have more wine from New York for sure. But the number one wine that been import to Vietnam is always Italy, France, very classic wine region. So we got a lot of wine from them, but we look forward to have always, new wine, new labels, so people can experience more. Because for the wine market in Vietnam, we trying to create a lot of activities, and we try to make new thing, and we trying to share more and more knowledge on wine, not just drinking without understanding anything, but because I also work for the association, so we always trying to organize a lot of activity, including deep training or training for sommelier, training for wine connoisseur, and also now we're training for students from university about the wine culture and for different region and how to drink wine and how to appreciate them and also how to sell them to our customer. Yeah, can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, so this is what we have a number of the wine that been imported to our countries. So as I mentioned, Italy and France is still the biggest market, but US wine is always there. And with this number, I believe that we can increasing in the near future. Yeah. So for the distribution in Vietnam, I believe that for every market can be the same in Southeast Asia. We have the big importer. You know, we got big players that they import themselves and they distribute themselves. But beside all of the big players, we got a lot of more and more very boutique or very small player that they can work with the agency that help them to import wine and they will distribute themselves. So there's more and more opportunity for people in the market to buy wine. So not only from the big players. So this is also very important. That's why for every masterclass that we organize to introduce about New York wine, beside all the big players, we invite a lot of people coming from the very boutique or very small distributor. So if they see the demand from the market, they can ask the importer to import some of the very new labels, especially from New York. So the distribution will be like from the producer from the winery in New York through the importer. They can be also the distributor, or they can distribute to the wholesaler, or they can sell directly to the end consumer by their retail shop. So all of the big players here in Vietnam, they had uh, a lot of different retail shops owned by themselves, so they can actually communicate with the end consumer with a very good price, or they can distribute to different sections, including HoReCa or special or very like professional wine shop or supermarket or hypermarket. Or nowadays, or for the last 2 years, our government finally approved for the people to sell wine online, because before this was forbidden. We are not allowed to sell wine online or through e-commerce. But after COVID time, because people in that time people cannot really go out from their home, so the only way for the market to run smoothly is through the e-commerce. So the e-commerce now is one of the very important channel for the people to meet the end consumer. And this is the very important point that I see that our government, they really support the market, and they support all of the company and distributor company to support them stay away from all of the hard thing during COVID time. So finally they give us the rules and the laws to distribute to end consumer through internet, which is very important. So nowadays you can sell wine through Facebook, through Instagrams, or through a lot of different e-commerce channel. So it's very important. And then, in Vietnam, when you order the wine, you can receive them in less than 1 hour. The distribution is very, very, very fast. And we, as a Vietnamese, we always, when we want something or some product, we want to have it right away. And the market actually can do that by, we got a lot of the transportation, like the Grab, or other company that support the distributor to send their wine to the end consumer within 1 hour. So it's very important. Yeah, can I have the next slide, please? So for our consumer, so everyone say that Southeast Asian people, we drink a lot, and that is correct. Like Vietnamese, we drink a lot, and this is like a culture. Every day you come back from work, you come back from the very stressful 8-hour working in your company. People would like to enjoy some drinks before they're going home, and it's very easy because you can find beers, you can find cocktail, and nowadays you can find wine almost everywhere and very close to your company. And beside the that kind of drinking habit, we got the habit of doing business by bringing your partner to drink some very high quality or good wine or good beers or good product. So and then you talk about the business. So this is also a very like a I'm not going to say only in Vietnam we're doing that, but in Southeast Asia or even in Asia, that is one of the very important culture to bring your partner to drink something or to eat something very, very high in quality. And beside that, during our Lunar New Year, or we don't really celebrate Christmas here, but we do somehow. But one of the biggest time of the year that we give a lot of gift for other people, including partners, friends, family, is during the Lunar New Year. Normally, it will happen 1 month to 1.5 months after the normal New Year of every country. So this time of the year, everyone will celebrate. So this is the very important time of the year when you save a lot of money in the whole year and then you celebrate in the end of the year. So this is also the time that people will give a lot of gift and to show their tribute to other people. So this is also the biggest time that on the distributor, on the retailer, that they can really sell wine. So this time of the year is not for HoReCa section, but more for the retailer and more for the wholesaler to really sell out the wine. So it means that there's a lot of different opportunity for the product to be in the market and to really get into the end consumer. And the other thing, we are very proud for our cuisine, our food. And one of the very new thing that we trying to promote is to pair Vietnamese food, Vietnamese cuisine with wine. And we find out that wine from New York with a very crisp, good acidity, very lively with not too high in alcohol is one of the perfect options to pair with Vietnamese food. So people always say Vietnamese food, we have phở, we had bread, or we call bánh mì, but actually we have more than that. And the eating culture here in Vietnam nowadays is developing very fast. So it's not only all of the traditional food or the traditional way of making food. We make something very new. We try to create new thing from our local product. And we have every year new Michelin star restaurant, Michelin guide restaurant. And in that kind of restaurant, they sell the set menu along with the wine pairing menu. So, and then because people want to prove that Vietnamese food is not only to have them and drink beer or drink local spirit, but you actually can pair them with a very, very high quality or suitable wine with the local cuisine. And of course, for people who earn a lot of money, they always trying to spend and try to experience new thing. So they always trying to learn how to drink good wine. Besides of drinking beer all the time, they decide to do it with the wine. So it's to show you that the drinking behavior and what happened in Vietnam nowadays. There's a lot of different fun thing, interesting thing that me myself I enjoy a lot. I also work for a Michelin star restaurant here in Vietnam, and we see that every time you promote a wine food pairing, and then they really enjoy it, and then they want to enjoy the new thing. So it's not always thinking about big bold red, but they want to experience something new. So I think New York wine is one of the wine that is very suitable to do that with the Vietnamese cuisine. Yeah, can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, so as I just mentioned, normally for the new drinkers or for the, let's say, the old generation, they love big bold, high alcohol, high tannin wine, but that is for the old generation. For our generation, We like something more lively, more crisp, less alcohol. So because then we can drink more, we can experience more. So beside of the very traditional taste, we here in Vietnam, we look for something new in the taste, in the flavor, or even in the style. Because I see that in New York, you got a lot of different style of wine, like pet nat, and orange wine, or we here in Vietnam we also call something very like chill red wine, which is very suitable for the climate here too, especially from the southern part of Vietnam where me and we live. We don't have 4 seasons, and we only have 2 seasons, which is the hot season and a hotter season. So we never think about having a big bowl red wine, but I always enjoy a sparkling wine, a pet nat, or a very lively, crispy white wine. So it's more suitable to have them every day or to pair with the food. But in northern part of Vietnam, in Hanoi capital, their drinking culture is quite different than what we have in the south. And there they still stick with a more traditional way of drinking by choosing, big bowl red or more red wine than white wine. But there's a lot of young people or millennials in the northern part. They decide to find something new and something lighter, something more easier to approach. So there's a lot of opportunity. Or in the same country, you can separate the same country into the two different markets. One is more dynamic, and one is a little bit more traditional, but still there's a lot of people who want to try something new, more modern, like in the south. So we still have we are still a big red wine drinking country, but I believe in the near future might change a little bit toward more sparkling wine, toward more white wine, or more light body wine. So as I just mentioned, you can see from the number, we got a lot of red wine in the market. Most of them are big bowl, high tannin, high alcohol wine. But when you look at the number of the white wine, you see that it's actually increasing every year, which is a very important point. Because I see that in New York, you produce very, very nice and high quality and very delicious white wine from different grape variety, from different style. So it's very important and it's very suitable for a new market like in Vietnam. And beside the very traditional style of wine, Vietnam now today we got a lot more new style of wine such as organic, biodynamic, or natural wines. So we love orange wine, we love pet nat, and the product here in Vietnam is not that much. So every time you got the good orange wine, you can sell in 1 minute. People looking for that. People looking for something very new. So I see that in New York, you got a variety of style. So it's one of the very good point that you can use that kind of product to enter Vietnam market. So, well, besides on the traditional way of drinking wine from older generation, we our Vietnamese female, are very strong. So they kind of like they enjoy their life a lot. A lot of people they decide not to have family. They decide to live by their own, but they enjoy it a lot. And most of them they are very popular on internet or on social media, or we call KOL. And these kind of people they really like to experience new things, including wine or other local product. But wine is one of the things that they really want to share with people. So we had more and more drinkers are females, and of course for us we don't drink that big bowl wine. We love something more lively, more crispy, more aromatic, more easier to drink, so which is not too high in alcohol. So it's also a very potential consumer that we can target for the New York wine.
Thank you, Vi. Let's move further on the administrative way in order to have a better understanding about the market and how to entering with necessary steps and methodology. Sorry. So first, we're coming with necessary documentation, where here you can see that we specify into two different type of export. First is the direct import, where normally applying to a small scale of importer in Vietnam, where they may normally process on the import process by themselves in Vietnam. And another type of export, which is indirect, where they could be bigger organization and they do have their branches in other countries in a lot among Asia, for example, like Singapore or Hong Kong, where all these kind of normally all these kind of import documentation will be managed in those countries. This is their way of to facilitate on the import tax from other countries around Asia to Vietnam. And then we also providing here example of necessary documentation that will be provided by the wineries, and the other type of document will be provided by the importer, which is normally applied to the direct import in Vietnam, which is more complicated. So this is you can see it better when you receive the file. And here you can see that this is the current tax applied for non-EU country at the moment, with different layer of tax, like special consumption tax, the regular import tax, and the VAT. So for now, the US-wide import to Vietnam is 35% of the import tax is 50%. However, with the new regulation that is on dealing with between the US and Vietnam, hopefully the import tax will be decreased and we have more opportunity to compete compared to the other market. And we also provide a normal general formula how an importer will calculate based on different kind of cost, different kind of tax applied to the products in order to come out with the end consumer price. Later, I will show you more detail on example, which is can make it easier to understand. But as you can see that for now, the consumption tax in Vietnam for the alcohol below 20% is 35%. However, there's a roadmap that they might increase up to 50% by 2026 and to 70 by 2030. However, the regulation might be changed by the time. We will keep you posted. As I mentioned earlier, this is how an example we showcase on different rice structure that coming from different channel. Here you can see first from the, let's say example with the cost, the landed cost of $5 per bottle coming from the wholesaler. Then when they sell to HORECA, normally they mark up 50%. And then they will give a discount of 25%. And normally for the wholesaler, they will usually mark up 50% for own channel, but they will give different level of discount. For example, here, when they sell to the hypermarket, supermarket, they will give normally a discount of 15%. Sorry, to the retail, where we when we mentioning about retail, it's more like wine specialized shops rather than like the normal supermarket. So they give normally 15% discount to the retail shops. And to the hypermarket and supermarket, they will give a discount of 30%, which is the highest because there's a lot of requirement coming from the hypermarket and supermarket. However, the sales from supermarket and hypermarket is normally not that high compared to wide specialized shops and HORECA channel. As here in Vietnam, the HORECA channel, they take up to 40% of the market share. And from the hypermarket and supermarket, they normally multiply by 15 to 20% to come with the consumer price, selling price. And here from the retail store, they normally mark up 30%. And then in some occasional, they will give a discount to come from 10 to 20%. And sometimes, I mean, in other big in other bigger organization where they import and having their own retail shops, they might give up to even 30% discount to come up with the consumer price. And here, sometimes retail, as we mentioned earlier, some wine specialized shop, they also selling to HORECA channel. So again, they also mark up normally 30% and then give a discount of 20%. So you can see that the price is pretty much, and the highest price is from the HORECA channel to the consumer when they normally multiply by 2 or 3 times of the price. So you can see that here the HORECA channel take quite an important part in Vietnam, where some of the big organizations, they might buy directly from the wholesaler. And in our strategy this year, we also try to target some of the HORECA organization where they have the ability to import the product themselves to supply to their whole umbrella, let's say, brands. So we also provide a table for your comparison. However, because most of the New York wine style is not available in, not available in market with the same segment. So this is for reference only, coming from other region of US. And also, for example, like Riesling, we giving example from other countries for your reference with the retail price, the S-work price, so that you can have a reference in case you're not certain like what would be the price to offer to the market at the beginning. So let's go through the activities performance from the very first year that we implement in the market, which has shown very positive feedback. So from last year, we have joined partnership with USDA for one event, and then we organized the other 2 masterclass, which one in Ho Chi Minh City and another one in Hanoi. As we mentioned earlier, the culture is different, and these 2 cities are the major city here in Vietnam. So we have we have 70 participants from the 2 master classes, and most of them shows very appreciation for and they really surprised about the quality. And right after the master classes, we have received quite a number of inquiry for the wineries contact for the price offer, which one or 2 of them also mentioning that they really want to import the New York wine, mentioning that they want to add New York wine as a new SKU in their portfolio. And you can see here like 94% of the survey feedback that they really want to consider to purchase New York wine. So coming with the reason why we presenting about the documentation and also the price structure. And this is also to encourage to have the price from the winery ready for the next activity that we're planning in 2026. This is to support us to communicate with the importer, because for all the importer here in Vietnam, it's quite important for them to have a visibility of the price when they question us during the masterclass. It doesn't have to be a fixed price, but an estimation could be helpful for them to at least like knowing how they should target the price to the consumer that they having in their database, for example. And then let's go with the activity we planning for the second year. So for this second year, we are planning to have 4 master classes, 1 trade testing, which is planning during the outbound trip, where we are on discussion with the Japan team as a joint outbound trip. This is to facilitate on the time of the winery and hopefully to have more wineries able to join, make it much more impactful. And then we also planning to have a USDA partnership event through the years, targeting 3, but of course, depending on the schedule and the planning, the number can be changed, the time can be changed. For this second year, we also approach on the media partnership and e-newsletter to try to make our voice heard from the wine lover, the wine professional among F&B communities. So for the trade masterclass, as mentioned earlier, we're planning to have it organized. The first 2 masterclass will be by this October. Again, one in Ho Chi Minh City and another one in Hanoi. And then the second masterclass series will be during the outbound trip. This is to facilitate having the wineries as our speakers during the event would be evaluated by the local professionals. And as mentioned earlier, we really hope that we could join outbound trip with the Japan right after the Brunei Trade Fair from 18 April to 24. And then after that would be 1 week long in Vietnam. Yeah, from 18 to 24 April. So about this, the reason why we would like to facilitate is that you could have spend more time in Asia and to be more focused rather than to split the trip into 2 times along the year. So during this outbound trip, we're planning to have 1 mass trade testing event in Ho Chi Minh City, where you will be there to present about the wines from New York and to communicate and foster the connection with the local professional, which is quite important because, as we mentioned earlier, Vietnamese, we prefer to have like in-person contacts. Sometimes emails can be done, but it's quite time consuming and not really effective. During this outbound trip, we also planning to have the site visit, where we will set up a meeting with key importers in the market in both cities, including Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, where you will have the opportunity to meeting with potential importers, and we will visit also like wine specialized shop, retailer shops. This is to have a better understanding on how people will do business here in Vietnam and different kind of retail. This is also to help a better understanding about the market, about the demographic, on also different type of wine here in the Vietnam market. And during by the end of these activities, we would like also to host a VAB networking, where we will invite select potential importer and retailer to join dinner with the wineries. This is to help fostering a strong business relationship. And this is also to increase the chance of like purchase decision. And as we mentioned earlier, it's quite important to showcase how good New York wine can be paired with the local cuisine. So this is also an opportunity where we can showcase this. And in terms of media partnership, we will targeting one of popular, let's say, F&B magazine here in Vietnam market, where we have they can target like HORECA channel, they can target like wine lovers. So these are the four quite popular here in the market. By the time of the about trip, we will draft an article that relevant and to support the event and work with these media in order to help our events heard. So this is our estimation in terms of total bottles for this second year, where we also including the remaining stock from the first year. For your reference, we are working with on the bottle books, and we will send you soon the recommendation for the bottles that we think would work in the market. However, we understand that depending on your stock and other reason, there could be other bottle will be sending to Vietnam. Yes, I think that's pretty much. Now I think it's the question and answer section.
Thank you so much, Ann, and everyone. Really great opportunity to learn about the market. I don't see any questions that have come in on the chat just yet, but if anyone does have a question, please feel free to either unmute yourself or type it into the chat. A reminder for folks on the call and perhaps watching this a little bit later, and mentioned the joint outbound trade trip with Japan. Really excited to offer the opportunity to visit both markets. As she mentioned, it's just a lot easier to facilitate once you're in Asia to stay over there rather than 2 trips back and forth. Reminder for wineries that are interested in funded travel, you do need to be signed up for both markets to be eligible, and you must also have already completed your participation survey from the previous year to be eligible to be considered for funded travel. Any questions? I think we've got an exciting year planned in Vietnam. All right. For anyone that's watching this later, feel free to reach out, email myself, Kirsten. We can put you in touch with the folks in Vietnam if you have any questions or any follow-up. Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh, we do. Okay, that's a thank you. Thanks for joining us. All right. Have a good afternoon, evening, morning, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Everyone.